West Virginia for Appalachian wild turkey.
We headed down there at the perfect time of year. Those birds were strutting, they were hot and bothered and ready to roll. Jeremy Starks hooked us up with this new property. His buddy Norman got permission on it, and let me tell you, those trail cams were showing up with some giants on them.
Double beards, man. Norman had us in tight. We were ready. We were pumped. This was our first time in West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, it was our first time down there, and the first thing that we had to do was a new property, so we had to head in there and roost those birds up.
If nothing spooks them during when they've claimed the territory, they're going to roost on the same tree, same limb.
I see.
Now, later on in the year, when they all get back in bachelor groups, it'll be kind of random.
Yeah.
But right now, they're going to roost in the exact same area.
I see.
I heard something over that way. That was really good, by the way. And we might really want to walk out that far ridge.
Yeah, hold on.
And just see if there's something. Let's walk back that way before, and then we can always get back here right at door. So when you see that, and we know it quit raining about 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
Let's hope that's the double-bearded bird.
And so, like, when you see these claws like this,
Well, you can see the weight.
yeah.
Look at the size of the foot.
Now, Starks have been on that property a couple days prior, putting some trail cameras up. You know, it's always great to get that information back, and let me tell you, there was some giants on there.
Big birds and multiple big birds, and one of them with a double beard.
I mean, Jeremy said he had never seen a double beard before. We had definitely never shot one before.
That's
so, I
for
mean,
sure.
we were getting pretty excited.
That saying we hadn't shot one before is kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
This was so exciting for us because we had never heard or seen so much action, period.
That alone is enough for me to hunt here.
Yeah.
He's 45 yards from the redneck.
Yep.
And this is perfect, perfect area for him to strut.
Yeah.
It seems like they like to strut on this point and here because they can be seen for such a long distance. What can happen too, we're a little bit getting later in the season.
Yeah.
If this gets too high, they don't like to get out there in that tall grass.
Like to strut.
Well, they can't be seen as much, but they still have the road here. So they'll strut.
Strut up there.
And like we said, they're going to pick gravel on this road, and they're going to dust in this road.
Yep.
So, yeah, I know where they're going to roost. They've just not went up to roost yet because we're calling, and they're over there strutting. Yeah, there's no doubt. So we're just going to have to try to call them over here in the morning. Okay. Yeah, there's no point in going up there. By now, they're within 100 yards of where they're going to roost. It's much better. They're still not up on a limb. I feel confident these back here is going to gobble when they get up on the limb. When they get up on a limb, they're going to gobble. Listen how quiet everything is. And what do we talk about even with deer hunting?
Yeah.
When there's zero wind,
They don't like to move.
they just get really cautious. You know, they can hear really well, and they feel like their movement makes a ton of noise. And they'll use wind and that slight noise as cover. And you can see even with the animals this evening, we're not hearing any crows, no owls, the turkey are quiet, but it's like a vacuum. They're not going to gobble.
He's going to strut on this point or on that point where the blind is set up. So, yeah, if he struts there, I think we'll have it.
Now, you can understand the importance of roosting the birds, something I had never done before. I know you hadn't either. Jeremy was using the hoot owl call to establish dominance, to get them to talk back, to establish their location.
Well, I mean, if there's one thing a turkey loves is being the most dominant, loud thing in the forest. That's why they do call out when you try and be loud. A crow call, owl call, any of those calls work. And I mean, we were still pretty confident, even though we didn't roost a bird.
You had the trail camera, we had seen them there, we knew it was going to be good, and we could hardly wait for the next morning.
Well, and don't forget that massive track in the road.
The footprint, that told everything.
Look on your eye when he got that killer bud. Well, we just come in and we had heard a bird over here gobbling. And we moved over, stopped short on the hill. And when we got up here, we saw him run off to the side. Well, we backed up immediately. And the truck, they're so used to traffic coming through here that didn't really spook him. So we come around the hill and popped up. Well, he heard us walking and thought it was a hen, and he walked right into us. Now, it shows you how hard it is to kill one with a bow. With a shotgun, this would have been over.
With a shotgun, that would have been over. I mean, as soon as you popped up, you said, he's right there, he's right there.
Yeah, he was 18 yards.
Yeah.
We didn't spook him.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew something wasn't right,
Yeah.
but he don't know whether that was a coyote.
He didn't tear off.
So he just left, and instead of trying to chase him here and call him, we know he's strutting here.
Yep.
So tomorrow morning, I think he's
roosting right there.
The other night he was, but I think this morning he was roosted over on this side because when I could hear him gobbling, it was really at a distance. But this is his strut zone. He was here at 6 o'clock this morning. So tomorrow morning, we'll be in the ground blind.
We're sitting on a bullfrog pond. Think the frogs will get him gobbling?
Now, it was getting really late in the morning, about 11 o'clock, and I mean, that sun was getting high, it was getting really hot outside. We thought, you know, we walked up on that bird that morning, we spooked him out of there, he's gone. But, I mean, one of the big reasons we love hunting is what happens next.
Yeah, you know, just about the time you think, let's pack up and go home, that's when you gotta stay put.
Yep.
There he is. He's about 90 yards. You see him? Yeah. Now there's a great example. There's two hens together and they're out feeding. Yeah. So a lot of guys will think that they're nesting right now, but in fact they're just laying. Okay. There's a big difference between laying and sitting. When those hens go to sit, they won't be up feeding like that. Okay. So right, you may see them for 5 minutes really close to their nesting area because they'll stay on that. Yeah. Almost 24 hours a day. Okay. But right now they'll go lay an egg, build their nest, and then leave for the day. I can play this shotgun if you want it. It's right there. Just going to lean up and stick your head up. You're going to see. You're going to take him if you want him and be steady on his head. Right on his head. You got him. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. Oh, give us some of me. Yeah. How far did we throw him away? Oh, man. Oh, my God. I can't hear a damn thing. I don't. Look at that. Look at him fan out. Look at that shot. Oh, look at that shot. Look at that shot. Look at him fan out. Oh. Dude, we were fixing to pack up. The turkey whisperer. The turkey whisperer. What'd he come, 250 yards? Anyway.
I just ranged that 85 yards.
Did I tell you that shotgun would do it? No one believes you can do that with a shotgun.
Oh my gosh.
But he got past us right here. He was only 20 yards right here.
Was he?
But when we called and we talked about it this morning, we went just as soon as we said it, you can't get too aggressive. Yep. And because it sounded unnatural, nothing else was making a lot of noise, but just those few soft yelps out the other side, so it sounded like he was going away. The hens come running and he come running.
That was great. She was literally tearing down that edge.
Yeah, run. I mean, as soon as we called, and I said, she's coming.
Yep.
She come barreling.
I wonder where he came. He must have tore up out
and he
here.
had been coming out of here, but now there was two toms. So I don't have any idea which one you shot, and you don't either. We don't really care.
Let's go find it.
That was as exciting as anything. A look on your eye when he got that killer's up. I'm like, oh yeah.
Going down.
Going down. Dude, that looks like a big bird.
It does look like, oh, look at the way.
Dude, look at this.
Oh my, come on.
Oh, he's
not
still
dead.
alive. It's a giant bird. Oh my God, it's a giant. It's the double beard.
At this point, we walk up on this bird. He's not quite dead yet. You can see me. I'm reaching for a shotgun shell and knife something, but not Jeremy.
Starks thought he'd help him into our freezer.
Yeah, exactly. This is mountain hunting West Virginia right here.
What do you think of it?
Oh, I tell you, I'm fixing to move here. That's for sure.
Fixing. See, he's already getting our dialect now.
Oh,
Pick him up.
okay, let's see there.
Oh, man, what a bird.
Dude, that is a heavy bird.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh. We were just about to leave.
And
Dude.
we saw the deer moving.
Yep.
And I said it's about to change. And then it all happened.
So what changed?
Well, what do you feel right now that we didn't have a little bit ago?
Sunny. Well, it's been sunny all morning.
The wind. That wind. Now,
Right.
listen to the birds and everything hollering now.
Man, that is
Y'all hear, I mean,
that is crazy.
you can hear that on
That is
camera. I'm
crazy.
sure. You hear the birds are going nuts now, and
Yep.
it was like a vacuum earlier. But it's animals, they don't like that dead calm because they sound too loud.
Yep.
They sound like they're exposed. So just that little bit of breeze
Yep.
broke up that sound.
Yep.
They get active. We have a big giant tom.
If you could learn one thing from this morning is that the little things matter.
We said that last night.
Paying attention to the little things, they just matter so much, like just the wind. And as soon as it picked up, you can hear it. Birds start chirping.
And it'll die down, and
Yep.
they'll go quiet again.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'm glad y'all got one.
Well, Dakota wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Norman.
Hey, Bubby.
Oh man, we got another giant here.
Did you get him?
Yep, yes sir.
Hey, that 12 gauge makes it a lot easier though.
Man, well Jeremy's got that thing tuned in, man. We took him out at 85 yards.
85 yards.
He's not joking.
And I'm not joking,
He
Norman.
range finded
Oh
it.
my God, that's unbelievable.
85 yards, he ranged it. And
Yeah.
he laid him flat down. Boom.
He laid down right there.
Really? I'm glad y'all send me pics and stuff, and I'll send them to Randy, my buddy. Okay?
All right, well thank you, sir.
Son, hey, I appreciate. I'm glad y'all got him. I'm glad y'all got a couple birds. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
No,
You
it's
need to
great.
get 100 You know what I mean? Get another one in there, Jeremy.
Well, we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Nah, it ain't no problem. We can reseed them. Ain't no big deal. Okay, boys.
All
See
right.
ya.
You have a good one.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Two cameras.
Funny.
Sometimes patience is the best tool you have.
And the 12 gauge.
That was The Appalachian Range is such an incredible place to hunt. It's beautiful and the food there is incredible. I was inspired by a couple dishes, buttermilk biscuits and red-eye gravy. I'm gonna incorporate both of those into this recipe, but the first thing I have to do is get this beautiful ham started on the stove. With the butter in the pan, I'm gonna get the ham in. Now it's really important to get this in and flavor developed. One of the bases for the red-eye gravy is that nice crispy thing that develops on the bottom of the pan. So saute it, turn it over, and then we're gonna pull it out and get it ready for the turkey. Now while the ham is firing away behind me, I'm gonna get the turkey ready. You can see I've got 2 tenderloins, one breast has already been eaten. And then I've got another breast. You can see the wound from the broadhead. Now I've cleaned out any of the bloodshot and trimmed them up nicely. What I wanna do next is I wanna add some of our Surefire game rub. The one thing for sure, by adding this spice rub, we're gonna get really nice flavor. It's gonna get deep into the meat, but at the same time, it's also gonna color it, make it look very appetizing. One of the most important things to me is to make wild game appetizing. Take the ham out of the pan so it doesn't overcook. We've got all that beautiful ham flavor and the butter combined. Now it's time to put the turkey in. You wanna make sure the pan is preheated and just gently lay that turkey in. Look at that, that's gorgeous. Lay it in, and then we'll start it on the stovetop and finish it in the oven. I've just added some garlic with the skin on and whole thyme. That begins flavoring that beautiful fat. The next thing is I need to add lemon zest. Now that lemon zest is going to be bright and it's going to give some incredible flavor that would otherwise be missing. This dish needs just a little bit of acidity. With the lemon and the ham back in the pan in my oven at 350 degrees, I'm going to saute that and allow it to roast until the internal temperature is 165 degrees. Nothing says this South like buttermilk biscuits. And Catheads, well, they're the king of the biscuits. The first step to making a good biscuit is starting with the right flour. This beautiful self-rising flour is key. I always add about a teaspoon of extra baking powder because I want that height. I'm using butter. You can use shortening. Shortening will give you a great puff that will really make them nice and high, but butter tastes so good, I have to use butter. So whatever you use, Catheads are going to make this recipe incredible. Let's start with a couple cups of beautiful self-rising flour. That's 1 cup. And when you're measuring flour, it's really important to level it off. So you'll see here that I've got a scoop, but I've also got the flat edge of my knife. I'm going to use that to just level that off, making sure the measurement is exact. Teaspoon of baking powder. And I'll fold that in, but just before I do, I'm going to take fresh thyme. The fresh thyme is fragrant, and if I strip off those fresh leaves, you could use dried, but the thing that you're going to get with the fresh is the fresh oil. It's going to be bright and it's going to be fragrant, and you're going to have these beautiful little flecks of fresh thyme. Once you get the thyme in there, use a whisk and use it to incorporate so it'll evenly mix all the baking powder with the flour and the thyme. With chilled butter, it's easy to handle. I can cut it up. I'm going to turn it sideways and cut it into perfect little cubes. Once I've got it cubed, the next step is to get it into the flour. I start by cutting it into the flour by pressing it between my fingers and my thumb, gently pressing it, and then as it breaks down, I'll rub it together in a technique called sablé, which simply means sand. So I'm going to rub that until the texture is just like sand. The most important thing is to make sure not to overwork this dough. Once you get it finished, just simply turn it out, don't overfold it, and then gently begin to work it. A little bit of flour on top, and then I can form it into the shape that I want. Be sure to preheat your oven to 425 degrees, and that is convection bake. Then using an extra large mold, begin to wring out these beautiful biscuits. As you do, make sure to use a sharp mold so that when you put them on, the edges come up nice and clean. This does that incredible bird justice. Have a look at this. This is exactly what you're looking for. All of that flavor development, and then look inside the pan. Roasted garlic, beautiful. Look at how that lemon just literally squeezes on top. I love that. Now it's time to start bringing these ingredients out of the pan because I have to finish that red-eye gravy. I can only imagine how red-eye gravy got its start. I'm imagining some mother or grandmother over the stove early one morning, and they've got bacon in a pan, and they're like, man, that smells good. Taking a stiff cup of coffee and using it in a hot pan to deglaze. Now, deglazing brings up all of that beautiful flavor development, and then using a wooden spoon rather than stainless in this case. Stainless sometimes does change the flavor of things, so just use a wooden spoon, scrape up all of those bits off the bottom, and then reduce this until it's just a nice, silky, smooth consistency. Every time we head out on another hunting adventure, I never know how it's going to end. This one was incredible. The Appalachians in West Virginia were beautiful. Now this bird has finally made it to the plate, and it was a great finish. All I had to do was slice the biscuit in half, top it with some ham. I sliced that turkey breast really thin, and I'm serving it with the side of that red-eye gravy. For me, this is the best way to honor this bird and my belly.